I think it's a really good time to be a weirdo. Like, I think that's generally a sort of pretty good thing. Like, it's having a bunch of skills and maybe not even being that good. Like, one of the really amazing things about AI is it can take somebody who's sort of like 40th percentile and make them 60th percentile, and all of a sudden that could be a huge jump. And I think that we haven't really started to sort of think about that. And I think organizations have naturally not known what to do with hybrid people for a long time. And I think that being a hybrid person myself, I've felt this. I've had to make my own organizations as a result. So maybe this is a little bit of projecting, but I do think it's a really good time to be strange. Again, including myself in that. The second one is my take, just for what it's worth, on the sort of senior, junior thing. I sort of think we're going to see a barbell. I think this is kind of how I've been thinking about our own organization. It's like we have a bunch of really senior people, and then I think we'll hire a bunch of really pretty junior people in their career. And I don't think we're going to have a lot of people in the middle, at least for the short term, because I think that a lot of what you do when you're in the middle, for better or for worse, is a lot of that bureaucracy stuff, and the AI is really good at it. And I think, increasingly we want people who are really amazing at building and doing, and they can do all of these different things, and then there's sort of raw talent and capability, and who, the idea there is like if you really mentor those people that you can, and now they have all these capabilities with AI, and they have the mentorship, and they have the raw talent, that you can sort of accelerate them becoming those senior people and kind of skip through. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Hopefully we can have a longer conversation about that. A huge thank you to the team, particularly Shobita, who's here somewhere, but, she's over there. This was a gigantic pain in the ass to have your venue go bankrupt 2 weeks before, so we could just give her a small round of applause. Any of you have ever had to put on an event, it's hard as it is, and it's made significantly harder when everything you planned for has to change with 2 weeks ago. And then finally, I just want to sort of rewind back and just, at the beginning of the day, I sort of had these 5 things. And I still think they hold after hearing everybody today. It's really early, and I think that's amazing. And I think that, like, going back to our own organizations, it's something we just have to keep reminding everybody of. I think there's a lot of conversations asking for ROI and everything else, and sure, we should have those conversations about ROI, but also we have to remember where we are in the cycle, and that there's still some experimentation that's happening here, and that's okay, right? Like, it's okay to have some of that. The second is you've just got to be hands-on. I think, obviously, we just heard that in the talent conversation. We've seen a bunch of people hands-on. I think it's not just us. I think actually probably the people I'm speaking to right now are the people who need to have their hands on least, because they probably had their hands on. That's how you ended up here. But I think, especially encouraging the leaders inside your organizations to get their hands on, and sometimes that means literally sitting with them for an hour a week and getting their hands on keyboards. I think that's like super critical, because the amount you can get out of these things when you've actually got your hands on the keyboards is pretty incredible. Don't trust anyone who sounds too confident. That's pretty easy, but just let's all keep calling out everybody's bullshit, because there's entirely too much of it, and I think we'd all be better off. Remember that AI is a mirror, and the first sort of response that we have when it sucks, we need to remember that it's just parroting back what we are, and then let's just sort of keep working together on getting rid of the sort of stigma that exists around using these tools, because it's dumb and it's bad, and it doesn't get any of us any further. So I'm going to stop talking now.